Hi, welcome to today's webinar. I'm Kwame Amankwah, Afrifa, and today I'm going to be your facilitator. I'll be taking you through the program as the program has been named Introduction to Figma. So today we are going to look at the features of Figma and how we'll be able to use the tools in Figma in creating our UI UX designs. So if you are joining this live, please you can comment your name in the comment box so we know you're also you are joining us. Hi, so welcome to today's live once again. So this our window. So when you first download the Figma app, this is what it will show to you, the sign-in page. So we are going to sign in. If you haven't downloaded the Figma app, I sent a message. So you can use the link to download the Figma app, or you can go to Google then search for Figma download. Then you download for your device. Whether you are using a Windows PC, you are using a MacBook, or even if you are using an Android phone. So let's get into our Figma. So here you let's log in with our browser. So click on login with browser. So you can use your Google account to log in. If you are also a student, you can use your student email to log in. If you're a university student and you have a university student email account, you can use it. So I'm going to log in with my email account. Or if you don't have your email account on your PC, you can click on the add new, or it will give you an option to log in with your email account. So I'm going to click on my email account to log in. So here I am in my Figma application. So there is the interface. I have the name where I can also log out. I can choose the theme where we have light, dark, and system. So when I click on the dark, the theme of the application changes to dark mode. And I click on the light, it also changes to the light mode. So depending on how you prefer your workspace to look like, so you can choose between the light, dark, and system theme. Okay, so you also have settings here. You can also add another account, or you can also log out from your account. One advantage is if you are using Figma for education, it is free. If you're a university student, then you sign in with your student email. You can also claim that you are a student on their Figma website. You go to Google, then you search for Figma for students or Figma for education. Then you verify that you're a student, then you have the free version to use. You have everything, every tool that the professional or the paid version has. One thing about Figma is always you have to be connected to the internet to get started with it. But after you have started, you can play around, make your designs without the internet, but you have to connect to the internet anytime for it to synchronize with the cloud so that your design may not be lost. So when you see here we have theme, if you're using the free the unpaid version, you are limited to some number of theme. So we are not going to use the theme. We also have theme project and we have create new theme. So at the top here, we have draft, we have design, fake jam, board, and import. So this will not be available if you are using Figma for the first time. These are designs I have created with Figma. That's why it is showing at the home page. So if you are new to Figma, probably you'll be seeing these designs on your screen whereby you can click on it, then you follow to learn how Figma works. So we are going to create our first design. So you have to come here where we have the draft. We are not going to use the themes. So we are going to click on the draft. When you click on the draft, then you come here. You see there is a plus and design file. So you click on the design file. So we have our new document loading. So when it's done loading, this is how the interface looks like. We have our layers panel here where we'll be seeing the layers we are working with. So there is a new update. So this is part of the new update. And we also have the design and prototype panels, whereby you also have the properties panel whereby you can change the color, the line strokes, and everything over here, add effects and stuff. So here are the tools in Figma. So let's rename our Figma file. So click on this, then press backspace, then type the name. So let's say first UI. Then can click enter to create our first, to rename it. Okay, so we have, let's start from here. We have the main menu. At the main menu, you have file, edit, view, object, text, arrange, vector, plugins, widgets, preferences, libraries, and you also have help and account. So these are also options at the main menu. So at files, you can create new design. You can also place images. You can save your design to local. You can also as well import, export your designs, and you can export it as a PDF too. So we have the what we call the move tool, and under the move tool we have a drop down. When you click on it, you have extra tool called the scale tool. So you have the move tool and the scale tool, and the shortcut for it is when you click on V, you have the shortcut for move tool, and when you click on K, you have the scale tool. And we also have the frames. So when you click on it, you have the frames. So the frames is what, like, the workspace you'd be working on. So Figma is for creating user interfaces and user experience designs. So maybe you are creating a website for a company. So you have to use Figma to visualize the website for the company to know how it will look like before it's being sent to a software engineer or a web developer to design the real thing. If they are going to design also a mobile app, Figma also comes in, whereby you have to design the interface of how the mobile app will look like, how it would feel like using the mobile app. So we have the prototype and we have the design. So when you click on the frame, that's when you have different kinds of um, devices to choose from. So you have the phone, you have the tablet, desktop, presentation, watch, paper, social media, and we also have Figma community and archives. So at the frame, you can choose any frame you want. So for this education, I'm going to use iPhone 14 and 15 Pro. So you click on it. So there is the size of the iPhone 14 and 15 Pro. So you have the width here, you have the height here, and these are the axis where you have the Y and X axis. So you can change the background of the frame by selecting it and coming to here where you have the fill. So you have the fill here. So you see there is a white color here and a color code. Then the opacity, that's 100%. You can also hide it or view it. So when you click on the color icon, you can choose which color you want for the frame. In this case, you are going to use white for the frame. So when you are done, you click on the close button. You can also add stroke to the frame, but we are not going to. So when you want to add stroke, you click on the plus sign to add your stroke. You also have the effect, whereby you can add drop, shadow effect, layer, blur, background, inner shadow, and you can also export your frame. So we have the rectangular tool, We have the line, arrow, ellipse, polygon, star, and place image or video. So in the free version or in the unpaid version, you won't be able to add videos in your work. But with the professional mode, you are going to be able to add images and everything. So let's start creating shapes with the rectangle tool. So you create your shape, you click, then you drag to create the shape. So you see the shape already have a color, so you can come to the fill, then change the color. You can also add an outline, that's the stroke, to it by clicking on the plus sign that's close to the stroke. So you click on it, you see we have gotten a black stroke. And this lines shows the number of strokes or the size of the stroke. So when you increase it, you get a higher number for the stroke or higher size for the stroke. So you can choose also whether you want your stroke to be inside or outside. So you click there, you click outside, or you click center. So whichever one you want, outside, inside, center. Okay. So let's create a line. You click on this tool on the drop down, then you select your line, or you can press L. So you draw your line. You can change the size or the thickness of the line. You can also change the start point and the end point of the line. So maybe you want the end point to be an arrow, a triangle arrow, a reverse triangle, circle, diamond. And you can also have a round or square. So you can choose round, then you can also choose round here. You can also change the stroke color by clicking on the color icon, then dragging it to the color you want. You can use the color switcher here to change to the color you want. You can also draw ellipse. So one thing is, if you want to draw a perfect shape, like let's say we want to draw a perfect square, then when we click on the rectangle tool, we have to press shift before we start drawing. So you press and hold shift down, then you draw. So you get a perfect square. The same thing applies to the ellipse. If you want to draw a perfect circle, so you press and hold shift, then you draw your shape. So as I told you, you can also change your colors and everything. So let's come to polygon. So we can also start drawing our polygon. If you want to draw a perfect polygon, just like the square and the circle, you have to press shift down, then you draw. So you can change the sizes of your polygon. So 3 is for triangle, so you can increase it. 4, 5, 6, depending on the type of polygon you want. You can also draw stars. So when you want to resize a shape, you just bring your mouse cursor to the corner nodes. When you drag it, you see that the shape will distort. So anytime you want to resize shape or any element, you press and hold shift for it to constrain the proportion. So when you resize it, it keeps the shape in the same proportion. So for all the shapes, you can add lines or strokes to it. You can change the colors and you can also add effects. So let's add an effect to our star shape. So you click on the effect, the plus sign. So this is a drop shadow. So you have a drop shadow. We are using the drop shadow. So you can click here to adjust the drop shadow on this icon. You click on this icon. So you can adjust on the x-axis and on the y-axis. And you can also increase or decrease the blur. So let me adjust it on the y-axis. You see, and on the x-axis too. And you can also increase or decrease the blur. So that's how you can also add an effect to your shape. So let's say we want to change the border radius. So on your property bar, you have where you can change your corner radius. So you click on this, then you type a number that you want for your radius, your corner radius. So I can type 30 and press enter. So it has given me a corner radius of 30. But if I want to get corner radius for each, let's say I want a different corner radius for this side, different corner radius for this side, and different corner radius for the other sides. So you can click on this part, independent corner radius. So you have the top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. So let's say I'm giving the top left 30, then the bottom right 30. Sorry. So the bottom right 30 radius. So you see, I now have this shape. Now we are going to learn how to insert an image. So under the drawing tools, you come down. That's the last option, place image. So you click on it, then you look for an image. Then you can place it inside your workspace. So you see, when you select the image and you click on open. You have click or drag to place. So you can click on place or discard to discard the image, or you can press shift down, then you draw to the proportion you want it. Let's say if you want to add an image inside the shape. So you select the shape. You can select it from the layer panel. So let me select my rectangle shape, and I'm going to add an image or clip an image inside it. So I come to fill, then I click on the color icon. At the top, you have solid color, gradient color, and you also have image. So you click on the image. When you click on the image, you see you have some black and white boxes. Then you click on choose image. Then you look for the image, you click on it, then you click on open. Let's say the image didn't fill your shape very well, so you can come to fill, then you click on crop, or you can come to fill, then you click on fit. For the image to fit into the shape, or you can choose fill for it to fill the shape, and you can also choose eye, or you can choose the crop. Then you move it around to a particular point where you feel it's okay to crop it. After that, then you click somewhere at the workspace for it to crop. You can also increase the exposure of the image, decrease it. You can increase the contrast. So this one is for editing the color gradient and stuff of the image. You can also adjust the shadows of the image. So you can also add a gradient color to your shape. So let's see how it works. You click on gradient. So with gradient color, you have to choose two colors. So you have the 1 point here and 1 point also here. You can choose multiple colors for gradient. So you can add extra boxes by clicking in between, or you can delete them by clicking on them, double clicking, or selecting and pressing delete to delete them. So in this one, we are going to use only two gradients. So the first one, I'll choose red. Then the second one, I'll choose something like yellow. You can adjust this to adjust the opacity of the color. So I'm adjusting it to 100%. You can move this one around. So at this part, you have which type of gradient you want, whether a linear gradient or you want a radial, angular, or diamond gradient. So you can choose radial, angular, and those with diamond. You can add extra colors. So let's say I'm going to add something like this. Then I'll choose linear. So this is how to add a gradient color to your design. You can duplicate elements. So you select the element, then you press Ctrl plus D to duplicate it. You see when, let me press Ctrl plus Z to undo it. So I select the shape, Ctrl plus D is for duplicate. I don't know for MacBook but for Windows, Ctrl plus D can duplicate it. So I have two rectangles here. So I can move the other one to another part. You can duplicate any of the elements. So if you want to duplicate the full frame to you select it, then you press Ctrl plus D. It will also duplicate the full window. So I have the same window duplicated here. So this is how to duplicate a whole window. So let's come to alignment. So you can choose your shape, then align it to the middle, left, top right, bottom right, center. So this is where we have the alignment. So align left, you select the shape, and now you click on align left. It is going to align to the left of the frame. Align center, align right, top align, vertical center, bottom align. Because I'm using only one shape, I have selected only one shape. This part is not visible, or this option is not available to use. But in case I want to align to distribute two shapes, so I select these two shapes, I can align them. So now I can select the align to distribute. So distribute vertically and distribute horizontally. So you select distribute vertically to distribute them vertically, and distribute horizontal to distribute it horizontally, to give it equal spacing. So here you can increase the spacing or decrease the spacing. So we can also group our element. So you select, then press shift to select. You can left click, then you go to group selection. Group selection is going to group your element as one element. So when you are moving it, you are moving all the elements. The same way you can ungroup it. Ungroup. You can also convert your elements into components. In Figma, components is something you can use across your frames. So let's say our app has a navigation bar. but we want to use the navigation bar throughout the app. So in order to do that, we can make our navigation bar a component. So if I create a component, if there is the mother component, if I change the color of this, it is going to change the color of all the child components, unless maybe I have modified the child component. So let me create this shape as a component. So you select the shape, you click on this icon, create component, and the shortcut is Control Alternative plus K. So you click on it, it has become a component. So when I duplicate it to this window or this frame, so now let me come and select this back and change the color. I'm going to change it to red. So the color has been changed to red. Because I edited this one, you can see the colors I'm changing is not applying to it, although it is still a child of this element. So immediately change a component, maybe the color or the outline of the child component, it somehow breaks it from the mother component. So if, let's say, if I change the outline of this element, it breaks the outline for the mother component from the mother component. So let's say, let me add a stroke. I don't know why this is happening. So let me create a new one. Then convert it a component. Then Control plus D. Then put it here. So I'm going to give it a stroke. Okay, so I think I'm having problem when changing this element. Okay, so let me now convert this one to, let me increase the stroke, then convert it to a component, then duplicate it and bring it here. So if I change the stroke, the stroke color, it reflects to the child element. So if I select the child element, then I change the stroke color of the child element. It breaks the stroke from the parent element. So now if I change the stroke of the parent element, it is not going to apply to the child element. But if I change the color fill of the parent element, it is going to apply to the child element because I haven't changed the fill color of the child element. So that's how component also works. So you can create components in your designs if you are using a particular design across your frames. So let's go to the pen tool. So we have the pen tool to create vector shapes, and under the pen tool we also have the pencil tool. So the pen and the pencil tool are also here. So you click on the pen tool, then you start drawing. You click, you can drag it to create curvy shapes. To create a shape, you have to bring the point to the last point you started, then you click. Now you have your shape. So you can use the bend tool to adjust your shape. When you are done, you can click on the done. Then you can give it a fill. You can also add text to your design. So let me delete what we've done so far. So you click on the text tool, then click, then type your text. So when you come to the property bar, you have the option to change the font type. To change the font type, so you have different fonts here to choose from. So I have changed the font type. I can also change the font size. So this is how to change the font size too. You can also change the alignment, aligned left, center, right, and align at the middle, align at the top, align at the bottom. So you can also, if it is a paragraph text, you can also increase the paragraph spacing. That is not a paragraph text. You can choose auto weight, auto height, and also fixed size. So when I choose a fixed size, which means there is the main size, so if I double click and I am typing, any other size will be coming to the bottom. So that is how the fixed size works. But when I choose the auto height, it will actually adjust to the height. Auto height will adjust to the height. So let me do this. Then choose the auto height. And you also have the auto weight. So the auto weight will also make sure if I didn't press enter for the word or the letters to start from the next line, it is going to be on one line. So that's how that one also works like. And you can also change the letter spacing, and also the line height. So this one is for line height, letter spacing, paragraph spacing, the font size, the font style, whether regular, italic, bold, semi-bold. So for some fonts, you don't have different styles. So let me choose a font like Arial. So we have Arial regular, we have narrow bold, we have black, narrow italic, narrow bold, italic and bold italic. So when you select, so you can select bold, italic, black. You can change the font size. So that is how you can also add fonts, or let's say text to your um, design. So we also have resources. So in your UI UX journey, you'll be using resources like icons and other stuff. So we have components, we have plugins. So let me show you one plugin. We have Iconify. So you can search Iconify, then you click on run. Then you have different, you can search for maybe home. Click on the search. So you have different home icons to choose from. You select it and drag it to it, or you select it, then you come to the bottom. You come to the bottom, then you click on the import icon. So it will import it. So that's for plugin. There are many plugins. So this one is also the hand tool. It is used to move the workspace around, to move around the workspace. Let's say you have about 10 pages or 10 frames. So you use the hand tool to move around. And we also have the comment tool, or add comment. So with that one, maybe somebody has done a design and the person wants you to see it, but looking at the design, you want to add some comment to it. Let's say, okay, this font is not better. So you click, then you add, please change the font. You can upload it, submit. You can add image, you can add a mention, and you can also add emojis. So you have a comment there. So that's it. So let's say after designing, we want to preview it. So we select, use the move tool, select your frame. Then at the top here, we have the prototype view. So you click on the drop down, we have present and we have preview. So you click on preview. So you have your preview here. It's actually loading. I think my internet connection is a bit low or slow. So it's okay. So how is this is how it's going to look like on an iPhone. So I have this, so you can close it. So let's continue. So let's say we want to create a custom shape. I have this shape and I want to cut some part of it with to create some design. So I place this one on it, then I select the both of it. Then um you have the Boolean group. So you can choose to union it, subtract selection, intersect selection, exclude selection. So when you click on union, this shape has become one shape. Let me click Ctrl plus Z. So now we have the two shapes. When I click on subtract, it has been subtracted. Ctrl plus Z. When I click on intersect, it the intersect place is the only shape it has created from. It has created. So when you click on exclude selection, where the shape intersect is being excluded from the selection. So that's how you can also create custom shapes. With the new version, you can select multiple shapes. So with this, select matching layers. So if I have this same, let's say, let me duplicate this window, or let me say this frame, Control plus D. So now let me select this one or even this one. Then I select this rectangle. Then I click on select matching shape. So it has selected the same shape I have in this one. Okay, so that's that. You can also change from the current mode to developer mode, especially when you are in a team and you are working on a project. So you click here to change it to developer mode. So let's get something serious here. We're going to create our first interface. So I'm going to delete all these layers. Delete. So you select the frame. I like using the 14 and 15 Pro. So I'm going to create a button. So I select my rectangular tool, then I align it to the center, then change the corner radius to 50. Then I will change my fill color to something like wine brown. Okay, I think this is okay. I'm going to add my text to it. Get started. Select it. So the guidelines will help you to know whether you have aligned it well. So you see, this shows I have vertically and horizontally aligned the text to the center of the button. So I have this interface. Let's say it is a mobile app, so this would be the first interface. Let me duplicate the window or the frame. So I'm going to delete this one. So you have your layers here. This is the first frame and this is the second frame. So I'm going to create some shape. So I'll click on done. And I have to remove the stroke. Then I come to fill. Click on the color. And I'm using the same color I used for the button. So I have my shape there. So I'm going to create a login screen. So I select my rectangular tool, then draw some boxes, align it to the center. I'm going to change the radius to something like maybe 20. No, 20 is too much. 10. Okay. Let me say 15. I think 15 is okay for me. So I can duplicate it. So the guideline is actually showing me whether I'm in line with the first shape or not. Okay, so I can also duplicate and bring it down. So now you see I have a spacing of 26. I can also duplicate again. Then I can add my text. Choose my text tool. Then I'm going to use arrow, type my text, full name, click anywhere and drag it to it. Then I can change the color, something like fainted. Then I'm going to change the size of my font as well from to something like 16. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So let's get to prototyping. So I want my work, let's say if I click on the get started, I have to move to the login page. So you click on prototype, then select the button. You see when I place the cursor on this one, it is giving me, so I can come to design and group this item, select both, then press Ctrl plus G to group it, or you can go to, you right click then select group selection. So let me come to my prototype. So now I can, so I want it to, when I tap on it, so you have on tap, we have different effects. So like on tap, on drag, while hovering, while pressing key and mouse, and then that you can also choose none. So when I untap it, how should it react, or what should it do? So navigate to. So navigate to, then where is it navigating to? To my second frame. So the second frame is selected. And the animation, so I have the instant, dissolve, smart animate, move in, move out, push, sliding. I can choose smart animate. So this is how the smart animate. You can also choose how it should be done, ease out, and you have the ease in, ease out, and other stuffs. So this is also the timing of how the animation should go. So let's preview it, how it's going to work. So let me click on the get started. When I click on it, it has taken me to the second page or the second frame. So let me restart. Immediately I click on the button, it is taking me to the second frame. So this is how Figma works. I wanted to go beyond this time, but I think it is okay. So you can click here to add new designs. You can also share, because I want somebody to see how my design is. You click on share, then you add a person's email, then you click on invite. So you can choose how the person should be able to view it, whether you want the person to be able to edit, to be able to just view your design. So you can choose that option to edit and view. And you can choose where everyone with the link, let's say share the link into a group and everyone is there. So you want everyone to be able to view it or to be able to edit it. This way you also anyone with the link or only people invited to this file. So when you click on this, it means only people who are invited to this file can actually have access to it. And when you click on anyone with the link, it means anyone with the link can actually view it. So you can also choose whether the person can view or edit. So I have invited anybody who signed up for this webinar. So anyone who signed up for this webinar can have access to it to view the design. So with the design and with the prototype. So this is where we've gotten to. If you have comments, if you have any question you would want to ask, you can ask. I have seen comments that most of you are having problems with your network. Yes, actually the networks hasn't been good since about 2 weeks now. That's when we even wanted to have this webinar last week, but it couldn't come up because of the network connectivity. But now I think it's okay in some parts. Okay, so you can have access to this webinar even after we are done. I think it will be available on this YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and also invite your friends to actually subscribe. In the future, we are going to do a lot of webinars and also going to actually create a lot of tutorials and posts on this um, platform for people to learn. And maybe if you have something you are learning about in tech, and I may not know everything, but what I know, if you can comment on any of my posts on this channel, and if I can do tutorial about it, I will. If I can't do, or if there is somebody I know who can, I will actually consult the person to help out. Thank you. I am Kwame Amankwah Afrifa once again, and I am the director and the founder of GenieLab. So, anytime you see GenieLab, I am the one behind GenieLab. Okay, so anyone who participated should actually send me hi on my WhatsApp number. I have posted my WhatsApp number here, so you just have to WhatsApp me. I'll be giving people who attended a certificate of participation. So if you participated in this webinar, you send me a hi on my WhatsApp number, or you can send me an email at GenieLabGH at gmail.com. So GenieLabGH@gmail.com is my email, so you can send me email. You can also send me a WhatsApp message. I think I have some names here. So if you did not actually attend this live webinar, then I'm sorry. I don't know how I'm going to give you a certificate of participation. I'm going to use the names of the few people I saw and those who actually commented, because that's how I'm going to know that okay, this person actually took part in the webinar. Thank you for joining this webinar, and I'm hoping to see you in the next web. Sure. So you can send me a WhatsApp message. You can also join our WhatsApp group. You can follow us on any of our social media handles. That's GenieLab. If you haven't heard much about GenieLab is an organization that's actually dedicated to promoting art, design, and technology, mostly in underserved communities. We have a support group on campus at the UUW campus, University of Education campus, whereby we organize programs, not frequently because there are a lot of things we lack. So something like projector. So most of the time we don't get time to organize programs for people on campus. But then I'm hoping we get along and get some tools and materials to kickstart our programs on campus. But we've done about two programs. That was last year, and one program in last year and one program in this year on campus. So you can also chat me with my WhatsApp number, and I'll add you to the campus group. Or if you want to join the larger community of people who are members of GenieLab, you can also chat me. If you are not a student of University of Education Winneba, I can add you to that group also. Thank you.